Yo, real talk. This channel is not about dunking. It's not about being good at basketball. It's about training. I only post that other stuff so that people will know that, hey, maybe I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. So today I'm going to be showing you a pretty brutal, not very fun workout and explaining why it is that I do what I do and what it's all about. So I know a lot of people subscribe to my channel for different reasons. You know, the people I really want to hear from are the people who are trying to move on to a higher level, whether that's scholarship or pro or just trying to dunk on people at your local gym. If you're one of those, hit me up, let's talk, I can help you. Well, maybe I can help you. I'm just some guy on the internet who can maybe jump a little bit, can maybe throw some fake passes, right? Can maybe shoot or whatever, but I don't know. I'm doing stuff no one else is doing, and we'll see where it takes me. But I do want to hear from you guys. As for what I'm doing today, this specifically I call rotational depth drop, and I think that this is like the most important exercise for any kind of a jumper because I'm sounding like a broken record here because I say it in every video, but landing is incredibly important. If you cannot land, you should not jump. If you are not good at landing, you're going to accrue injuries over time. That's just going to limit your career, limit your performance. You're going to blow your knee like Derrick Rose, or you're just going to have patellar pain or whatever. I'm dropping from about 50 inches, maybe 4 feet. It's high, so you probably shouldn't start off from this if you've never done it before. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. Let's get into the details. So you're going to see that I'm jumping off, rotating at an angle, and I'm landing backwards. The reason why I do this is I set up my jumps in order to land backwards. In general, I take off sideways, going from a 90 degrees rotation on the last step, rotate 90 degrees in the air, and land backwards. I find this to be very natural for me because sideways landing is awesome, although I'm trying a few forward landings here, which I hate doing, but I have to have in my arsenal. I find that is natural. There's lots of benefits to jumping sideways, and there's lots of benefits to landing backwards. The benefits of landing backwards are if you lose your balance on your squat landing, getting depth, and squatting is like the best way to lower a human center of gravity. If you screw that up, you just land on your back like that, which is not really a big deal. If you go from the ground to your back or the ground to your butt, a worst case scenario, you have a bruised glute. You're not blowing out your knee. If you land forward and you try to squat it and screw it up, your knee could explode. But if you land forward and don't try to squat it, you're just accruing impact all throughout your body. So if you look at any of my dunks and my dunk videos, I generally land backwards. I generally land in a squat. And you're going to see me hit my butt often. That's not me losing balance. That's, well, somewhat. It's intentional. I'm trying to sit as far back in my squat as I can. So that's what that is all about. I'm training barefoot. I think training barefoot is immensely important because shoes suck. They kill our biomechanics. They kill our toes. Imagine wearing mittens your entire life. That's what you're doing to your feet as if you were doing to your hands. So I think it's really bad. Me personally, I try to do some barefoot training almost every single day, and it's been giving me results. And you're gonna see more as you see my jumping increase. You're seeing me practice on soft ground. The reason I'm practicing on soft ground is to lessen impact. If I screw up, it's not as bad. There's less shock. The sand absorbs a lot of the force. But at the same time, I get to practice from higher so I can kind of time it out. Because I don't want to look down while I'm doing this either because I need my neck back to balance. You're also going to see me lose my balance a lot of times in this portion. I usually want to wave my arms in my landing, which I can't do when landing with a med ball, so I'm going to fall over a lot. Also, I'm doing this with a sore neck. You might have seen my neck injury video. Probably not. Barely anyone watched that because there's zero glamour in that, but whatever. If you really want to train, it's good stuff. But since my neck is sore, and the neck is actually important in landing, how you position it, so I end up losing my balance starting on this side for like 3 consecutive times is my guess. But what you're seeing me do is do it with a 12-pound medicine ball, and now, yeah, try catching it out of the air. 12-pound meta ball is heavy, so it's just, I'm really ratcheting up the difficulty of landing. I'm landing from like 50 inches, which is much higher, 10 to 12 inches higher than I can land from. I'm doing it with a 12-pound medicine ball, which is very difficult, and I'm doing it while catching an object in the air, which keeps my eyes off the ground. So the idea is if I can land this safely, I can land very, very safely. And that is going to allow me to dunk practice almost as much as I want, because normally what limits people on dunk practice is not their muscles getting sore, but their body getting sore from the joints accruing damage, basically. And then you have to take time off to rest and recover. But if my landing is just on point, all I'm ever going to get is muscular soreness. The landing is going to make my hamstrings and glutes and lower back especially sore because it's posterior landings, the back squat landings. And the forward landings are going to make my glutes more sore, if anything. So you're seeing me lose my balance on some of these. And yeah, again, I'm going to say that a lot of that is my neck, and a lot of that is just the difficulty of this. But falling on my back is just not a big deal. It's, you roll onto your back. It's just a way to diffuse energy. You see a lot of good players, players that want to conserve their careers do a lot of back landings. Dwayne Wade, for example, if you ever watch him play, the dude's always flopping around, and people are bagging on him for it. But it's just good. It extends the career. As for where I'm training at Alki Beach, which is about 3 or 4 blocks from my house. I'm lucky in that I have this beach and this 50-inch drop right next to my house. But if you don't have it, I don't know, you could set up a table in your backyard or in your room. You could go to grass, or you could go to a gym and get set up. So now I threw the med ball away, and I want to do a few more landings where I don't have a medicine ball, and I'm going to see how easy it feels. Very easy. That's ideally how my dunk landings are going to look, and you're going to see me do that a lot. Then I suddenly have the desire to jump up to this thing. It's a little bit scary because it's concrete, so I decided I'm going to go on 1 foot. I used to do this more, but this is really just for fun. I don't even think it's a good exercise. It's more for confidence than for anything else. Because, the issue is when you're jumping forward, in order to create that momentum, your knees are going to flare out over your toes, and if you know anything about squats, there's an issue with
this shit ain't glamorous. Fuck getting injured though.
Alright, now that I've done landing, which is more important and something I try to practice as much as or more as jumping, now I'm going to practice jumping. It doesn't really look like I'm practicing jumping. I'm going from a squat position and torpedoing the 12-pound medicine ball as high in the air as I can. This is for really practicing the upper body mechanics for jumping, as well as a bit the lower body mechanics. Obviously, my depth is never going to be that low in a jump. I'm usually going to jump for more of a half squat or a deadlift, but this is just a good way to produce as much force as I possibly can from the bottom of my jump, which is just going to be a good thing. Really train the upper body as well. Something to think about going on the squatting here, and this isn't something that I've stated in my other videos on squatting, which is something I really need to update, is the importance, or the benefits rather, of keeping your feet parallel and creating torque. A good way to create power in your squat and prevent your knees from caving inwards, which can cause a lot of knee damage, is a technique where you basically create external rotation force. The cue for this is spreading the floor. If you stand up, you put your feet parallel and you push them outwards like you're trying to tear the floor open like it's a piece of paper. That's what I mean. And that keeps the knees out which is safely allows them to track, the knee to track correctly. Because the knee is not meant to be a flexible joint; it's stable. It goes one way, right? Unlike the hips and the ankles. So that's something new addition. So yeah, this is a 12-pound med ball, which is a lot. Yeah, see what I just did with my hands? That's my cue to spread the floor. Yeah, I'm trying to cue to screw my feet outwards against the floor. But I think this is a fantastic way to practice like the last step of your jumping, which is where your feet are already set and you want to explode. Get a heavy object. 12-pound med ball is a good thing, and go from like a full squat, or you can go from practice going from a half squat or deadlift. Whatever it takes for you to get the ball as high in the air as you can. And then when you do this with a basketball, you just hang onto the ball instead of letting go, and you just travel upwards in the air with it. This is just like, I think the way to go. I think this is better than like conventional, I'm just going for a half squat there. Better than like conventional squats and deadlifts from actually getting results on vertical. I think those exercises are good as diagnostic tools. Now I'm going from a deadlift. I think they're trying from a deadlift. I think those are good as diagnostic tools to kind of tell you what you need to do in order to be a functional human being. But as far as actual like jump results, these exercises are basically the top. Now I'm trying something different. This is just strictly a core exercise. Core is important in jumping. This is more just a good exercise than a jump exercise. Obviously, this is pretty brutal, just going on this 12-pound med ball and rolling along with it, trying to keep the spine straight, keep the back straight, but walk along with it. Incredibly brutal workout. It ain't easy, but I think it's a good thing to do. Whatever you can do to challenge your core, because your core is crucial for everything. Crucial for jumping. There's a million ways to do it. This is a fun one. I stole this one from Nate Robinson, actually. Obviously, his athleticism is just about unparalleled in the world, for basketball. He's amazing. Here I'm just collapsing because I ran out. So, that's what it's all about, man. That's something I was going to say to the camera.
There's no one but me out here. No one wants to do this. I don't know why. If you want to do it, I can help if you're in Seattle. Otherwise, you gotta be like me. Train alone, maybe find another guy you can train with every once in a while, but it's a daily thing, so gotta get that shit done.
Alright, that was real talk. Alright, last exercise that I'm doing, looking at my feet. They're kind of open, man. I want to keep them more closed. That looks like inefficient walking, actually, so it's good that I saw that, something to focus on. Sprinting. My sprint form's okay. I work on it. It's good for conditioning, and barefoot sprinting retrains the body to do forefoot running rather than running on your heels. Man, my strides look tiny, but I'm working. It ain't easy running in sand. You want to be running on your forefoot rather than your heels, just because when you run on your heels, your body absorbs a lot more impact. But we get to running on our heels just on account of we're wearing shoes and we can't feel it as much. But when we train barefoot in sand, it just retrains those biomechanics, which is very important. So if you take anything from this video, I think barefoot training is the way to go. And that shit ain't easy, man. I mean, it's not glamorous. You want to get the scholarship, you want to jump high, whatever you're working for. It's going to take a lot of hard work, and a lot of that's going to have to happen alone because people aren't going to walk you through it. I mean, you might have a trainer, you might have a dad who's always there or something like that, or a training buddy, but they're not going to be there every day, and you just got to work to get past people. So even on off days, go hard, man. So if you watched all of this, I'd love to hear from you. Channel is small. I mean, it's bigger for the game mixes and for the dunk videos, but for the actual training, and that's what I'm here for. I'd love to hear from you guys. So much love. This is Travis at Energy Efficient Basket.